The Food Channel 347 Runnymede Eco Eviction Special. This represents one tree knocked down in the storm last winter, and about 6 months supply of wood for me just cut up on the dot. And there's more over here. There's another tree that came down, and I just thought I had to say something. This is like, I'm going to buy this if I have to. I don't know what they're doing with it, but I've already had some. I can't. This is like so much wood. It's like for burning, like for me. It's 6 months supply ish. I've already started trying to collect it. I'm coming up here like, I'm going to offer it. No, I'm going to say, is this for me? Well, it's like, I can't really, it's just at the right time, because I was beginning to get a bit scarce with wood, because with that fence that I told you that they put up, and my ability to collect wood just lying on the ground is severely curtailed because of the fence, right? Which I regard as an act of force on my ability to live here without problems, especially with collecting wood. Well, what have they done? They come along and stuff me a peace sign with all that wood cut up. I'll take it, no problem. Whatever it is, even if it costs, it's worth it. I'm putting my money into living here right now, so that's worth it. Got a fire going. I'm going to go out to the meadow as well. 1:49. That's quick. Anyway, it's the fire. I'm going out. I'm doing some cleaning up a little bit, we haven't heard about the court case yet. It's been put off, or the date of talking about the court case has been put off. Why? Well, I was thinking about this. The court case that they're putting us through right now. In May, possibly June, at Runnymede. At Runnymede is back at the old Sun station. I don't know whether, I wouldn't have written the timing on it, would you? If you were the boss of the land here, and you thought, we have to get people off, what's it going to look like? Should we put it right on the dot of the Magna Carta celebration, so they make a really good point of getting rid of these people? Are they thinking like that? Or are they thinking, we've got a difficult place to get rid of people from, it's not easy from here? And they're suggesting that the Magna Carta has something to do with them being here, and that, the rights of people on the land or living off it should be redressed because of it, because that's what the Magna Carta supposedly wrote into its annals a long time ago, that man was free to live off the land as long as he wasn't disturbing anybody. Well, since then we've had, a lot of land bought and sold, and what's happened in the more recent decades is that because of the turnover of money and land, land gets left with nothing happening on it for years, because the money can't be made back when years of depression, so they leave it for the profit to come along. The profit. So you need the money to reinvest. So what happens in the land of capitalism is that land gets left in years of depression because there's no money to be made on it, so they sit on it. And I don't know, somewhere along the line, is anybody asking what's the best use of that land, that particular land? Seems not, because the money is louder than anything else. And there is a joke somewhere, because it says that this bit of land is owned by the Irish Bank. Would you trust the Irish Bank with your money? Would you? And the decisions made in Ireland about your money? Would you? Well, they're here. This is this is owned by the Irish Bank. and you know, I don't know whether they've learnt from their mistakes yet, but they're super, you know, debt, aren't they? This is the Irish Bank's land, and yet they're started building on it. Yeah, I guess they'll make a profit sometime. But we're here, you know, we've got, it's been here empty for about 10 years now, you know, maybe a bit less, I don't know exactly. That's a long time, isn't it? 10 years for a bit of land. You know, you could have had 2 generations of people living off this land now. Even if just during the time it was left empty, to see if something worked, you know, who knows. There's another 5 years until they're complete here, and at least that's minimum. Everybody knows it locally, and actually the local supports being here, because we're, you know, the label of hippie is kind of interesting. You know, psychedelic hippie. That was the one thing that Daily Mail got right. We smoke dope, and the story of dope is part of our being here, because as everybody knows, the weed is part of the story as well. And this is the bigger change, because that's just a soft bit, you know. We know soft bits have to change, and the weed is really a soft bit, isn't it? Nothing means nothing, apart from the fact that it's saving a few people's lives. And it's still illegal. It's still illegal. Well, that story is here too, because we're growing it. And, you know, seeing as though that hemp, right, I've got a big bag of hemp that I was given yesterday. Used to be wild in this country. I don't know, there's no story about its disappearance. But it won't, and hemp, you know, is very useful in lots of different ways, you know, material-wise. It's, you know, it's got a billion uses, hemp, everybody knows that. Too good for, you know, the stuff that's being sold in the high street, I guess. Never mind. 7-Eleven. I haven't, you know, this is interesting at the moment because I've got a little window through which I'm trying to push the idea of justice. See, before you can have a community, you have to have justice somehow within. You have to be seen to be, you know, justifiably doing the things you say you're doing. And it's got to be seen by the people who you live close to, otherwise it's like, there is no such thing. And the one that I'm pushing for clarification on here within the village, because I'm doing it within, is consensus, the word consensus. Because even out there in Babylon, you know, which is the worst example previous to this one, we'd hope, they send paper out that they ask you to, you know, fill out and so they can get a consensus of opinion. Or numbers, or, you know, collect data. And on, you know, justice alone, we know that that's true of Babylon, even if it turns out that it's a fraud. Forget that at the moment. What we got here is exactly the same, in that someone's claiming consensus on an area of justice against someone else. And as I know I wasn't part of the question, I didn't have a questionnaire sent to me or the question asked, then I know that I wasn't part of that consensus. So seeing as though I've been here for a while, I was thinking, I wouldn't mind knowing what and how the consensus came about, and who was involved in it, and what kind of consensus it was. So, and all those people who know what I'm talking about know if they were the ones who put forward the idea or not. I know, but they know too. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter that I don't say names, but the names will be said, because things is said. Otherwise you don't get justice. Anyway, then we've got to sort our own out before we even get anyone close to we or what our core beliefs are. Core belief, one of mine would be justice. Justice being seen to be done. That comes before anything else. Justice being seen to be done. Transparent at the point of. Inclusive. Thank you very much.